welcome to Denver Sports TV. I'm your host, Michelle Bundy, along with co-host Greg Rashid.
The Real Sports Authority.
The Real Sports Authority. Well, today we are going to have footage for you from the Mammoth, the Crush, the exciting Crush debut, and as well as the Nuggets. So stick around and make sure you catch that footage. Starting off with the Broncos, I'm sure you all heard that Jason Elam got his contract finally this past week. He got $9 million, and I believe it was a 5-year contract?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
He'll be around. I know he was ecstatic.
Oh, yes, and it's really surprised because the way Mike Shanahan was talking about him at mid-season looked like he was out the door.
A lot of people thought he was out the door. I really didn't.
I didn't either, to be honest with you.
It's hard to come by a good kicker, and yeah, he might have had issues, but a lot of us, when, let's say, our work isn't treating us the way we would like them to, or compensating us, or kind of leaving us high and dry, you don't always perform your best. So I think a lot of his issues this past season had to do with what was weighing on his mind.
I think that, and also he had a groin injury at mid-season, too, that was bothering him, too. But there was nobody out there. I mean, he's potentially a Hall of Fame player as a kicker, and who's out there?
That's why I was not surprised at all. But I hear rumblings, and I'm not going to say names, but I hear that some of the Broncos actually weren't too happy with the signing, some of the other guys.
Well, are they going to kick for the team? I mean, who are they going to get?
No, you know what it was is they felt that he kind of let some slip that they could have been in the playoffs if it wasn't for him. My answer to that, though, is come on. It never should have come down to Jason having to kick those field goals. You had how many tries and you failed? How are you going to get on somebody who missed a couple?
I mean, certain people who didn't make catches, certain people didn't make tackles.
Right.
There's a number of things we could say. It should, as you're saying, Michelle, it shouldn't come down to the kicker at the end of the game.
Not at all. But, you know, kudos going out to Jason, and I'm glad to see him here again for the next couple of years. One of the guys that left the Broncos, Bray Rhodes, officially signed with Seattle this past week. And he went out and he talked to the media, and I thought it was interesting because he said that he has a lot of respect for Shanahan, kind of got that out of the way, you know, he just wanted to move on and do something else. But he said that's all he wanted to talk. He was done talking about Denver, end of conversation. And then the funny part, I thought, was he mentioned that he's going to talk to the media 2 times a week.
2 times a week?
2 times a week. He talked to the media 2 times the whole year these past couple of years. So I was really shocked to read that.
I wonder if he's going to be out on the field, too, during the games.
He probably will. I think he wants a little bit more visibility. And I think Holmgren, you know, and they have this past relationship, said, hey, you know, maybe this was some of your issue and you need to be a little bit more visible. So we'll see.
Yeah, they are really close to each other, Mike Holmgren and Ray Rhodes. And I wish Ray well because I talked to him, you know, way back when. He seems like, I mean, he's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a nice guy on the one hand, but I think he was kind of vilified by some folks in the media.
Well, and it doesn't help any when you don't talk to the media. And so I think he's going to try to correct that with Seattle and go ahead and talk. Another interesting thing with coaches was Jimmy Spencer. Looks like has been hired to be the cornerbacks coach. And if he happens to make the team next year, which I would be surprised if he didn't because he performed pretty well this past season as a cornerback, he ended up replacing Deltha O'Neal as a starter. He will be only the first player in, I think since it was the 1960s, late 60s or early 70s, that was both a coach and a player at the same time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone in the NFL that was that in the 60s.
Actually, the 2 players, the last ones to do that, were Sam Huff out of the Washington Redskins. That was in 1969, as well as Dan Reeves with the Cowboys in 71, 72.
That's something. I mean, that's almost 30-some years.
Exactly. You just don't see that anymore. One quick last note about the Broncos. I read this week that Terrell Davis is moving to San Diego.
Bye. That's all I can say. You know,
so that kind of squashes the rumors if it's true. And it was written by Adam Schefter of the Denver Post, who is like this. He wrote Terrell's bio, so I'm assuming it is true. He put his house up on the market, and so he's kind of gone, and I don't think he will be back with the team next year.
I really don't think he's going to be back, but I just believe he's going to be in the NFL somewhere.
Yeah,
I can see him as a backup.
As a backup? Okay.
You know,
I don't think so. From what this article said, and I actually interviewed him at the Crush, which we'll get into later, he just seems content with where he's at, and he's ready to move on.
If you want to catch some more information about the Broncos or the other teams, always go to our website. That's www.denversports.tv.
Right, and we'll keep you up to speed as much as we can. But why don't we now move along to the Colorado Crush, who had their big debut this weekend, this past Sunday, here at the Pepsi Center. Let's go down and look at that footage.
Bang, 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 bang.
Damien's a special player. You know, 5 touchdowns and you know, a lot of them were wide open. So he's a heck of a receiver, and I'm glad he's on. I got to throw to him because he's our go-to guy right now.
I think that the nervous energy, the execution, they adjusted well to us, and they played a good football game. We played a good football team. They were very consistent, and they made plays, and we had chances, and sometimes we made them, and sometimes we didn't. That's the consistency of the game.
Better. You got to. Did all right. You got to get better.
Even though the Colorado Crush did not come away with that first win, I think they had a lot of positive things. Damien Harrell getting 5 touchdowns.
That was great. And also, even though John Dutton had a bad game near the end, he showed a lot of promise with this team. You can see why he was the MVP of the Arena Football Bowl last year. I mean, he looked good. The team looked good. But the funny thing, Michelle, up in the press box, one of the coaches of the Crush was in there, and this guy, even before they would make any plays, he was like diagramming them, and he was slamming his desk. And he knew what was going to happen before the plays went into effect.
You think?
He was, you know, they were setting up in formation. He was just looking at it, and you hear him like slam his fist down.
They were going to
run
that play.
They would call the play, and he would see what was going on. It'd be an interception, something like that. The other team would make a touchdown. And it's like, how did?
It was interesting.
Oh, it was.
We were sitting right next to this guy, so we the first time we heard that.
We thought a camera fell or something. What was that?
We're looking around. This guy was really upset. But, you know, it was a great game. I thought one of the most interesting things was the very first play from scrimmage, very first one ever in the history of the Colorado Crush, was a touchdown pass from Dutton to Harrell. I mean, what better first play could you ask for?
And there was a lot of enthusiasm out there among the crowd and among the players, too. And I know there are some folks in the media who are criticizing this. This is professional sports. That's what it is. It's not football as you know it, but it is something that is entertaining. And that's what you're looking for, entertainment. A lot of people aren't there just to see the X's and O's and want to go through 3 yards in a cloud of dust or something like that. They want to see entertainment. And this is an entertaining product.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're still working out some of the rough edges, but give them a little bit of time. I think it'll be something that'll catch on here in this town. You know, in the Denver Post, it made me laugh. They had to point out that the first celebrity sighting at the Crush was Randy Gradishar and Terrell Davis. They had to mention the very first sighting. I thought that was kind of funny. Why don't we go on to the Nuggets, who were at home for 3 games this week. Exciting games. The first one was Memphis.
Yeah.
And they came away with that win. It was a good game. It wasn't a lot of drama like the last one, but it was exciting nonetheless.
It scored over 100 points.
Over 100 points, you're right.
Which is a rare thing for the Nuggets because, you know, right now they're approaching the record for the modern era in the NBA of averaging 81.5 points a game, and that would be awful in this day and age. But
it would. But, you know, they're coming along. I actually think they're starting to, and I'll use the word that I really don't like in the media, gel.
Oh, gel. Oh, my goodness.
I always make fun of that word, but they're starting to come together and I think, you know, kind of work their own. And Marcus Camby's supposed to be starting after the All-Star break. So I think he'll help.
I want to ask you this, though, Michelle. What do you think about the fact they're gelling, and I like the Nuggets, but on the other hand, you got LeBron James out there.
Right.
And not only is LeBron James, this is a great college draft that's coming up here. You got a couple of 7-footers out there. And you wonder if they get on a little hot streak, because I think right now the way the Nuggets look, that they can win more games than they won last year. They won 26.
Oh, they're on pace to win more than they did last year already. So, yeah, I agree. And you know what the funny thing was is they had Van Exel and all this supposed great talent last year, and they've already done better than Van Exel and company did. So
they have. But, you know, it's a thing like, do you want them to win all these games and lose opportunity to get somebody that's going to help them next year? Or do you want them just to take a dive?
Well, I don't think they're going to, even though they're doing better, they're not going to win enough games, I think, for it to affect that.
They're going to be in the lottery
draft. I don't think that'll
draft.
happen. Yeah, they'll be in the lottery draft regardless of if they are doing a little bit better this year. So I don't really think that's an issue.
But
the one thing, though, I do hope they do, and this has been something that they just are famous for, is I hope they don't get too excited about the possibilities of who they can get here, that they let go everybody they do have here. That is my one concern.
You got to have some continuity, and that's the one problem with the Nuggets over the years. They get these guys, they train them, and then they're out of here.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Juwan's been here for, what, how long now? And I think he's just barely starting to get into a rhythm. And so if they were to rip him out and bring in somebody new, then it's going to take that person that long to get in. So I think they just need to bring in someone that will complement him, complement Camby, one of these new young stars. And I think they're good to go. I really do. I really believe that in the next couple of years, you are going to see a contending team.
I will say,
if they don't make those mistakes.
If they don't make those mistakes, they will have a I'll put this out here right now. They will contend more in the next 5 years than the Broncos will.
Well, I don't know anything about that because I think there's some big moves being made this offseason that it's still yet to be seen.
But as you're saying, Michelle, the key thing is that they have to have some continuity.
Right.
And if they don't do that, you'll have the same
Then you'll have the same thing that they keep doing over and over again. So I think they might have learned from their past mistakes, though, and hopefully they won't continue them. Yeah. Why don't we go down to some footage, though, from Monday night?
Everyone who contributed, and everybody did a good job in some way, shape, or form out there. You know, Chris Anderson played the least amount of minutes, had 9 minutes. He was 2 for 4 from the floor. He had 2 rebounds. He had a blocked shot. He had a steal. You know, that's contributing. Skeeter played 10 minutes, 2 for 2 from the line, 2 rebounds. You know, that was good. But Chris Whitney showed a lot of courage out there and you know, hit some big shots for us. You know, and that has helped our offense too when you have that outside threat, because he has shot the 3 well in the last 3 games.
Well, after that game, who would have thought they would come back in the next, in 2 days and pull away another exciting victory. This one in overtime. This is one of those ones where you were just on the edge of your seat. Actually, we were all standing up right there towards the end. We were standing up because we wanted to see, and the whole crowd was into it, and there was these cute little girls standing on the side holding their little signs saying who their favorite player was and go, and they were getting into it. And I gotta tell you, I really wish more of you would come out to these games. And because, yeah, there might be one where they lose and they're blown out, but for the most part, they're like this. They're full of excitement. The entertainment, I gotta give it to the Nuggets. The Nuggets, out of all the teams here in town, barring the Broncos, have great entertainment in the Pepsi Center. They know how to do it. They got Rocky, they keep the crowd moving, they keep the dancers, they're throwing the shirts, they got fun stuff. They're very entertaining. So if nothing else, go out there for the entertainment, because as we've seen, and we'll talk about this later, some of the other teams just don't do that entertaining piece. So even if the Nuggets lose, it's still a good time. But this one, I got to tell you, it was the best one so far this year.
I would say one thing, of the traditional teams here, they are really entertaining. A lot of folks who have gotten tickets from me over the years, they bring their children. They want to see Rocky. They want to see the entertainment. And the fact is, this team's been here over 30 years, and we talk about this a lot. You got to support this team.
Exactly.
And I argue this, and a lot of people get upset with me when I say this. I really think this is actually a pro basketball city.
It could be.
I really believe
not
that.
Right now.
From what I know from the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
And people are dying.
If they do get a team back, of course everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon. As a matter of fact, it was funny. One of the columnists, and I won't say his name, who's pretty prominent in this town for the Denver Post, said he went through this whole long spiel about the crush. And then at the end, he said with the Denver Nuggets, he goes, I would give anything. I would give away arena football. I'd give away lacrosse. I'd even give away all the news teams in town just to have one NBA team.
That's right. One
and
successful
that's because
NBA
I think
team.
that people are hungry for that basketball.
Oh, I think they are.
But stay tuned. I think you'll get it here in the next couple years.
I agree with that if they don't make any changes. But the thing is, even though, the Chicago Bulls were in town the other night, and that was an exciting game, I'm really surprised at Jay Williams, I should say, the point guard. I was expecting more out of him as far as a pro player.
He's just a young guy. People put too much emphasis on these rookies. They forget they're rookies. And, Jalen Rose, actually, who was in the Fab Five with Juwan Howard, didn't have as great a game as he usually does either. But why don't we go down to that footage from the Chicago Bulls and the Denver Nuggets at the Pepsi Center.
Both teams really wanted this game very badly, and fortunately we had a couple of shots go down at the right time, and that enabled us to come away with the W.
Play was for me to come off first, and they switched out on me. Took away the second option, which was Rodney on the back pick from Juwan, and I knew I had to get it up. Fortunately, it went in.
Kept telling Junior, you gotta stay loose. You never know when you're gonna get thrown back in there for defense. And Junior had a big steal for us and a dunk, and so that's just you always gotta stay ready.
Juwan was on Jalen Rose, he got a deflection, allowed me to get in the passing lane and steal the ball.
Got to ask you about the free throws here. I mean, was that the most pressure you felt?
Probably in your whole life. Come on.
I mean, they're going to be big free throws, but just trying to think about it. Actually, I was ready to go up there and step and knock them down. I knew it was a chance to step up. First one, I kind of stepped back on the, missed the first one. And I was like, boy, now the pressure really on the second one. So, just had to focus in and make the shot.
Well, that winning streak, unfortunately, at home didn't stay. San Antonio was in town on Thursday, and the Nuggets were unable to come away with that win. But still, I think a two-game winning streak's not bad for the Nuggets.
Oh, not at all. And you're playing one of the teams that'll probably get into the finals, with the San Antonio Spurs. It's a very good team. But the Nuggets, once again, they played their hearts out.
Why don't we go down and look at some of that footage of the Nuggets versus the San Antonio Spurs?
These guys do here. They play with a lot of energy. They get up and down. They shots go up. They crash the glass. That's kind of their forte. So we have to kind of match that energy.
Michelle Bundy at the Pepsi Center with the Denver Nuggets, where they're getting ready to face the San Antonio Spurs. Behind me, you'll see Nene Hilario, who this weekend is going to be performing on the Rookie All-Star team.
Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got.
The last two games, Juwan Howard had a double-double. We'll see if he can live up to that and continue it tonight.
Good win last night, got in very late, and for them to come back tonight and show enough energy was really good. I'm proud of them.
Absolutely. This is was a huge one for us to get this one, especially with a bunch of our guys going down. Finished it all into the All-Star break on a positive note, and hopefully come out the same way.
As a rookie, this is going to be a great weekend for me. I really hope to represent
not only my team, the U.S., but also definitely my country, Brazil, in the game. I hope to have a good performance. Definitely, it's not every day that you're together with the best players in the world.
The Mammoth hosted the New York Saints, and that was an exciting game. You actually saw one of the players from the Saints hit a rough.
That's right. You don't see that. I mean, it's a rough game.
It is.
But you don't see, and you see them hitting each other, but hitting the
ref is
and
not
hitting
a
with
good
an
thing.
uppercut.
With an uppercut. But the result of that is he has now been suspended from the league for a year plus 4 games.
Right. And it seems like this player has done this before.
I think that they took that into consideration.
And he is just, he's a bad seed for this league. They're trying to build this league up as something that, they want you to see the roughness and all, but they don't want it getting to be a goon league where they're just beating up refs and all that. Then it becomes professional wrestling or something.
Exactly.
We don't want that.
Well, after a road trip back out to New York, the Mammoth are in town tonight, Saturday, at the Pepsi Center. And so far this year, they're undefeated at home. So make sure you guys go out. If you already have a ticket, make sure you show up. If you don't, go get it, because it'll once again be an exciting game. And I'm willing to bet they'll come away with another victory.
Oh, I'm sure of that. And I'm sure that they're going to have over 18,207 this time. Fans, go out there. We're pushing it. Go out there and support it. Set the record for the NLL, which is the National Lacrosse League. Set that record.
We're so close, so close. The record's just over 19,000, so just 1,000 more and we're ready
to
go.
And I know Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Pepsi Center, will love to have standing room only in there.
Exactly. Speaking of Stan, why don't we move on to his abs?
Yeah, I'm so happy, Michelle. I am so happy because I've been talking about trades the past 2 weeks.
For a long time, exactly.
And
finally got one.
They've made it, it's a minor trade, but they got themselves a player, Chris McAllister from the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a defensive player. He's also an enforcer.
Okay.
He was second on the team last year with the Flyers as far as penalty minutes. He's also somebody that the Nuggets could use because he's 6'8".
6'8".
He's the second tallest player in the NHL.
Does he have skills? Can he play?
He is I'll put it to you this way. He will enforce. As I said, he's an enforcer.
Well, yeah, 6'8", you kind of have to be.
And with Derek Morris out right now because of the eye injury, Scott Parker, who was the enforcer, he's out still. And they just need someone right now who can just settle things down. And the Avs have won, as we speak right now, they have been undefeated in the last 6 games. And like I said, you laughed at me the last couple of weeks, they will be in the Stanley Cup hunt. They will be in it. There's one more trade to come. You will see it, but getting McAllister is really going to help this team.
I know. You're back on the bandwagon. So
I never leave the bandwagon.
Hopefully you won't have to leave again.
No, I don't leave bandwagons. I'm always on that Avs bandwagon. The other bandwagons, well, the Broncos. But anyway, I'm never on that bandwagon. But the thing is, this really helps them.
I'm sure it does.
And I want to throw a prediction out here. As we speak right now, they're playing the Red Wings, Detroit Red Wings, in Detroit, and then they come back here and play them at home. I predict they're going to win both those games.
Both games. Well, we'll find out if your predictions come true. By the time the show airs, we'll already know the results. Hopefully you're right.
They will be, they will have won 2 games against Detroit. I know this is going to happen. Detroit's weakness is their goalie.
Well, they haven't won against Detroit for what? I think 4 games straight they've dropped.
That's going to be ending. Curtis Joseph, the goalie for Detroit, is their weakness. And it's coming to pass now. They've had a tough time in the last 2 weeks. The Avs are going to beat them twice. And then the Avs are going to beat Calgary Sunday evening. And that's going to keep them going. And as I said, Michelle, they're on the Stanley Cup run now.
I hope they do make it. That's kind of tiring. That's 3 games in a little over 4 days.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't wear out and they can come away with the big one, luckily, which is the Red Wings on Thursday.
Right.
A quick note about the Colorado Rockies. It looks like they're going to offer season ticket holders free membership to their Mountain Ranch Club. It was once an exclusive club, but now they're going to try to give the season ticket holders a break and let them come on in. And also, they're going to offer deep discounts on Sunday games for those season ticket holders. So it looks like they're trying to, improve relations with fans and get them back into the game.
Yeah, that attendance has gone down the last 6 years. But the funny thing is they're still in the top 5 as far as attendance in baseball, but it's going down here.
You're right.
They get $2.6 million a year. They used to get $3.2 million a year.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference. But I want to say goodbye, and I never got a chance to do this 3 weeks ago, to Terry Shempert. He just signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Terry helped me a lot with the Rockies as far as doing interviews 3 years ago and all. He's a good guy, a big boxing fan, by the way. But I just wish Terry well because I know he's still in the community, and I'll see him with the Dodgers.
We're about out of time this week. Make sure you catch us on the internet at www.denversports.tv. I'm your host, Michelle Bundy, along with co-host Greg Rashid.
Real Sports Authority, in your hearts.
In your hearts. And we will catch you next week on Denver Sports TV.
We'll be fine. We know we're a good team. We just got to eliminate mistakes, and we'll be fine. It's a long season. We have 14 more to go. Season hasn't even started. Just get in the playoffs and things happen. We'll bring them some, excitement, but we want to bring them wins more than anything. And if they just keep coming out, we'll be fine. They're gonna see some fun football and some wins, and they're supporting us like crazy, so it's fun. It's tough, this league's all about scoring, and we just gotta score on every possession, and when I give them the ball back, that just gives them the advantage.
Charlie Davidson stepped up today and made some plays. He made some big plays today. I was really tickled with the way he stepped up this week. I'm not going to change anything. We keep harping on that drop ball. We'll make him a psychological wreck. I'm not going to mess with that. He's too good a quarterback. I look at all the positive things and try and find good out of this game. Where did we grow? We grew in the offensive line. The protection was great. I thought Coach Carson did a great job with it. We go back to the drawing board. We watch the film. We get better and better and better. And that's all you can do. That's all I can ask of these guys. Keep practicing hard and keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to change anything.
Look at our team. We're better than both these two teams that we lost to, and you hate to hear that, but we're a good team. We just got to learn how to finish things.
Like I said, the finish is the key. I mean, as you seen last week, this week, a 2-point loss.
I felt like we had this one in the bag, but like I said, it's arena football and anything can happen. Sudden change, and you don't need much time to do it, so anything can happen. I think the team chemistry is there. It's just that when we have people down, we have to finish them off. We're going to get it together. We have 14 more games. It's possible that we can pull 14 straight, and everything will still be rocking around here.